Grown up to be an adult, I always strive to be a rational being, calculating my decisions concerning studies, work, or even the most trivial things like buying a controller or choosing an outfit. But throughout my efforts, I was always met with a silent but nonetheless mighty enemy. Mind you, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm not that good with definitions and words either. So let me try to explain exactly what I mean. To me, self-destructive behavior is knowingly making choices that are absolutely not the best for you, just because it feels good and it satisfies that deep urge you have. Think of a kid throwing a tantrum, even while knowing you're not gonna give him your phone, or even an adult throwing away a long-term relationship just out of some bad words that were said. I used to look at behaviors like this and think, wow, some people just make bad decisions. That's probably what you're thinking too right now. But I discovered that I did the same thing sometimes, not even knowing. And I started realizing that we engage in these self-destructive behavior not out of ignorance or bad judgment, but we unintentionally do that because of a primitive urge humans have to sabotage themselves. In my personal experience, there are three main ways people engage in this dangerous behavior. Think of them as three pillars upon which the beast of self-destruction sits. Quitting prematurely on goals or commitments, adopting bad habits, or having a generally negative mindset. So let's start with premature quitting. Really a trademark self-destructive behavior. It's giving up on something you want or love whenever you face the first hurdle. Oh, I'm not getting enough results in the gym. This song is way too hard to learn. Or maybe this course is too complicated for a total beginner like me. So you get frustrated and you quit. But what we need to realize is that that feeling of an unsurmountable challenge is actually a big sign of progress. It means that unlike at the beginning, when you thought it was all sunshine and roses, you fully grasp the challenges that you're going to have to face to achieve this task in front of you. That you have a better understanding of what has to be done. I hate to bring up the Dunning-Kruger effect since it's been referenced so often. But let's follow that terminology for a second, just because I love graphs. You actually moved on in the graph from a total noob who thinks this skill is easy and has nothing to it, to an aspiring amateur who knows what he has to do to master it. And obviously, knowing what he has to do is an essential step to actually doing it. But this progress is usually accompanied by a steep drop in confidence. So just hanging in there throughout this quote-unquote valley of despair is the only way of becoming a master at any skill. Premature quitting doesn't just threaten our goals and achievements, it also poisons our personal relationships. We enjoy the excitement of a new romance or friendship, but we feel disappointed once the novelty wears off. We start discovering flaws in the other person, we get bored or even angry, and it gets ruined. But we forget that a relationship is like a good instrument. It needs to be maintained, or it will lose its tune. We need to make efforts, accept flaws, and find ways to make it work. Now, of course, we shouldn't overdo it either. You shouldn't tolerate a toxic or abusive relationship. You can't keep a hobby you're not enjoying anymore. And you certainly can't work a job that clashes with your personality or nature. But if you think that what you're striving for is worth it to you and is a good addition to the person you want to be, then stop it with the perfectionism and the high expectations. Just stay there, enjoy the process, and keep at it. While the video is practically over, so it would be a great time for me to say, okay guys, see you in the next video and all that, I still want to go on a small tangent about history. Because I'm a huge history nerd, of course, but also because it's related to what I said earlier, just trust me. Back when I was binge watching history documentaries like a good teenager should, I noticed something in common with all the great conquerors of the past. I noticed that even when Napoleon was standing against all of Europe, a coalition of the world's greatest nations. He was still trying desperately to make the best out of a bad situation, whether it ended well, like in his earlier campaigns, or it ended horribly, like at Waterloo. He always gave it his all. When Caesar was surrounded by Gauls at Alesia, deep into enemy territory with no food or reinforcements, what did he do? He didn't surrender. He told his men to start building a freaking fort, and he won that battle at the end. Now, whether you think those two examples are horrible people or not does not matter here, because I don't want us to go out and conquer whole nations. I just want us to conquer our own problems. Okay, I guess this is the real ending now. Tell me what you think about the video in the comments, and see you in the next one. We're gonna talk about bad habits.